Red Sox All-Star Kenley Jansen making his pitch to Ohtani as well, chatting it up with the Angels phenom at the Midsummer Classic. Jansen saying, discussing his meeting, saying, I can't say anything but really good. We'll see. I basically spent a lot of time today talking to him. I would love to have him as my teammate. I can tell you that right now. Give Jansen the Sox MVP right now. He didn't tamper. That's not tampering. Everybody wants Shohei Ohtani, but only a handful of teams will be able to go after these soon-to-be free agents. Sadly, it doesn't seem like the Red Sox will be one of those teams. What have you done for me lately, John Henry? Hello and welcome to Arbella Early Edition. I'm Trenni Casey. Ohtani makes your team instantly relevant, which is something the Red Sox really are not these days. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game, a unicorn. He makes your team's rotation and lineup instantly better. But when you hear the teams being mentioned as legit players in the Shohei sweepstakes, it's New York, Mets and the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Padres, and yes, even the Seattle Mariners, who have allegedly been stocking money away to go after him. But not your Boston Red Sox, because apparently they have accomplished enough. The 4 World Series since 2004, they are incredible. In fact, they're unmatched. Since 2004, only the Astros and Cardinals have won more than one fall classic. So does that mean Sox ownership stops trying? Because it feels like they've stopped trying. It feels like they're okay with filling the Fenway seats with butts from out of town. It's just a tourist trap now. It feels like John Henry and company are complacent, apathetic, far more concerned with buying hockey teams and virtual golf leagues than they are with the crown jewel of Fenway Sports Group. It is infuriating. Just because you did a lot, emphasis on the past tense, does not mean it's okay to stop trying. If you don't care anymore, sell the team. Find someone who wants to battle with the big boys, because right now, you're not even Tampa Bay North. At least the Rays win games. Yes, I don't know why I'm so fired up about this as we welcome in Chris Gasper from the Boston Globe, owned by one, John Henry and his lovely wife, Linda Pizzuti, and our own Patriots insider, Phil Perry. I mean, it's just infuriating. I get it. Like, I know what you can. I know what the opposite side will say. Well, he won. He's won more than anybody in the last 20 years. But that, to me, what's frustrating is that it feels like they don't care anymore. Like, hey, we won enough. We'll just put you on the bottom of the pile.
I mean, I think they care, but I think that the reality is it's for them, it's not about just winning. It's like how you win. And they want to do it a sustainable way. And to me, I don't agree with that. I think you have the resources of the Boston Red Sox. Why are you ceding one of your great advantages, which is your financial resources, just to imitate other teams like Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay does it the way they do it because they have to. You don't have to do it that way. If you have an issue in your team, you can go out and just get Shohei Ohtani or go out and get a major star to plug it. You don't have to wait for the farm system. So I don't understand why they are sort of handicapping themselves to build it this way, other than there's some idea that they feel like you get more credit somehow or it counts more if you do it this way. Guess what? It doesn't.
I just look at it, and I've been so beaten down by their approach the last few years.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your home life.
I have no hope, Chris. I have no hope. I am at home when I'm watching this team. I've got no hope because I'm looking at it in the way they've spent and the way they've tried to build. And I look at this and I say, yes, of course, I agree with you, Trenni. They should go after Shohei Ohtani. They should try to give him $500 million or more to bring him here and fill 2 critical roles on your team. That's massive value, and it would be massive value to them. It would be massive value off the field. The TV show would go bananas. Everyone would watch immediately the day he shows up. But Trenni, I've been beaten down. This isn't going to happen. I feel like I was where you are now, maybe like last year or the year before. Like that, the anger, yes, the fire was there. And now I understand that this is something they're never going to do.
And you know what, Phil? Your attitude should scare the Boston Red Sox and John Henry and that entire ownership group, because there's, at least when people are fired up about something, that means they care about what's happening. When you become Phil Perry, when you become apathetic to something, you have lost everybody. That means like you're not even relevant in town anymore. So I think we all think they should go after Shohei.
Yes, absolutely.
So what if you're the Red Sox? Like, what's the ceiling? How much would you offer him? Like, what is a reasonable amount?
It's interesting because they sort of claim they were in the ballpark of $400 million for Mookie Betts, right? I mean, give or take. Probably tens of millions.
The eye roll there, they almost came right out of your sockets.
but if you were willing to do that for Mookie, now you have a guy who can hit and pitch, and you really need pitching. Chris Sale obviously is not someone you can rely upon. Brian Bayo has been great. James Paxton is on a 1-year deal, and he should cash in after this year. So you should be up at $450 million for this guy. But I just don't think they're going to do it because the risk factor is so high, and they got burned by Chris Sale. And I don't think they want to do these types of deals anymore. Even though if you're the Red Sox and it doesn't work out, guess what you can do? You can do exactly what you did with David Price. Ship him off somewhere else.
And the one thing I will say is I think it's going to cost more than $450 million. Based on reports, it's going to cost upwards of $500-600 million to land this guy. But I'm with you, Gasper. And Phil, I don't know how you feel. Pay for it. Pay away the problem. Like, you know what? When I was young, I had to clean my own house. Now I pay cleaners because I don't want to have to clean my house, and I can afford to have cleaners come clean my house. So you pay the problem away. When you have the resources, you pay the problem away.
And I'd be willing to give up something significant just to get him here and just to try to encourage him. Yes, the money's going to have to be on the level with anybody else, whether it's the Dodgers, the Mariners, or any other team out west that he might prefer to go to, quite frankly, right now. But I'd be willing to give up Marcelo Meyer right now just to get him in the building.
Wow, that is big. Ooh.
Maybe not Bayo, but they already have. I just saw on Twitter today, the Red Sox allegedly, they have another top 10 in baseball prospect that's in their system right now. They can find these guys. Meyer might be a couple years away from actually contributing to your team. Get Ohtani here, show him how great it is here, show him what kind of sports town it is here, and try to coax him to take that big deal here.
So John Tomasi wrote a column that was against this, and I'm sort of in the camp of Tomasi. The only reason that I don't like the idea of trading away some of your big name players and your prospects, and I know he is just a prospect, but then what do you have for Shohei Ohtani to come here? Because you look at what the Angels have, he can't carry a team alone, right? Like this is like...
No one in baseball can.
No one in
That's not how the sport works.
Right, so you need pieces around him. And I know he fills two holes because he's a pitcher and a hitter.
Yeah.
But when you start stripping your system, then you're sort of back to square one and you've just got a really dynamic player that after a while, if you're not winning, I think people... you're going to get tourists and people who don't get to see him very often, but you're not going to get that fan base and those eyeballs that are going to consistently carry.
I just feel as though, Gasper, you're not going to get him as a free agent. Like that dynamic player that you're talking about, that you're not going to be able to surround him with enough. He's not going to be here in the first place if you don't get him in the building first. I think trying to get him as a free agent is a little bit of a fool's errand.
And so you're saying get him in the building, show him what Boston is all about, and then you can.
So I was just going to argue, would you really want to show him what the Red Sox are all about right now?
Well, but it's people that care.
I do worry he comes here.
But I'm telling you, I mean, if you go to Fenway, and I've been a couple of times this year, I mean, it's on a summer night. I'm not saying everybody's there for the baseball game, but people are there. The stadium, people are still at the stadium. That might be a little different than what he's dealing with in Anaheim.
My out-of-town guests are there.
Sure, but that's a little different than probably what he's dealing with in Anaheim, where due to the traffic and disinterest, as great as he is, people are showing up in the 5th inning and leaving, basically by the 7th inning. So you can show him. I just think either way you have to sign him. And I think he's going to go to free agency either way. So I'd rather just take my chances in free agency than give up part of the core, as Trenni said, that you can win with around him to get him in here with no guarantees that he's going to stay here long term.
That's just like a little wooing. Oh, I want a little wooing. I want a woo period.
No, take him.
For Shohei Ohtani.
I hear the Henrys have a beautiful place on Nantucket. Take him to Nantucket.